أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم يغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد, after praising Allah and saying the peace and blessings upon our beloved Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we would just like to advise our beloved brothers and sisters, and of course myself first, about a very, very important characteristic. Indeed, as it relates to gathering these different types of characteristics, it's well known that some of them are good for us, and some of them are bad for us. And so it makes clear that as we're trying to get from point A to point Z, inshallah ta'ala, we are gathering that which is going to be beneficial to us, and letting go of those things that are going to be harmful and transgressive upon others. So with that understanding, listen clear. We cannot allow our feelings to prevent us from attaining blessings from Allah Azza wa Jal and His forgiveness. We can't allow our feelings, we cannot allow our feelings to get in the way of us attaining blessings from Allah Azza wa Jal and His forgiveness. What's clear is that we find that things happen among the Muslims. Sometimes there's misunderstandings, sometimes there are mistakes that occur among us, and sometimes there's actual transgression. People actually transgress the bounds with one another from among the Muslims. But in order for us to attain the success in this life and in the hereafter, Allah Azza wa Jalla says to us in His noble book, وَإِن تَعْفُوا وَتَصْفَحُوا وَتَقْرِفُوا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. In a small ayat, Allah tells us how to attain the tawfiq from Him. He said that indeed what we have to do is pardon one another, overlook one another, and forgive one another. And then Allah said about Himself, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. Indeed, Allah Azza wa Jalla Jalaluhu is the all-forgiving and the most merciful. Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah ta'ala, said about this ayah. He said, Allah Azza wa Jalla urges His believing slaves to forgive, to pardon, and to be patient upon the annoyance of other people. To be patient upon the annoyance of other people. And sometimes brothers and sisters exclude their wives and husbands, forgetting that that's your Muslim brother and that's your Muslim sister. Because we're talking about the Muslims. Ibn Kathir, he said, this is known because Allah Azza wa Jalla said, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ بِالشَّرَاءِ وَالضَّرَاءِ وَكَاذِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ وَعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, and as for those who give in the times of ease and in the times of difficulty, and they abstain, they hold themselves back, they refrain from becoming angry with the people. Now they hold back their anger. For who? For themselves. For Allah Azza wa Jalla first. Then you. Now, but you're holding back for Allah Azza wa Jalla first, then you're holding your anger back for yourself. And you're going to see this later. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, and those who pardon man, or pardon men. We say men because that's what's understood as it relates to the word and nas, mankind. This includes women. We're saying this to bring clear understanding because this stupid feminist movement is going on. Allah musta'an. But Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Wallahu yuhibbul muhsineen. Indeed, Allah loves those who do good. So one of the ways to attain the love of Allah Azza wa Jalla is restraining your anger against other Muslims. We're only talking about the Muslims today. Restraining your anger against other Muslims and forgiving them and pardoning them. Indeed, Allah loves the good doer, the one who does good. This is from the good deeds, from the good actions. This is from those things that will cause Allah to love you. If you excuse your brother, you excuse your sister, you pardon them, and you come with an excuse for them. Maybe they're just having a bad day. But what are we talking about here? When we talk about restraining one's anger, pardoning and forgiving, what is the deep-rooted thing that's going on that causes this anger? What is the deep-rooted thing that's going on in us that prevents us from pardoning one another? What is the deep-rooted thing in us that's preventing us from forgiving one another? Holding a grudge. We're grudge holders. That's why. The reason why we treat each other the way we do most of the time is because we're holding a grudge. The Mashaykh of Sunnah, they said, indeed, holding a grudge causes us to miss out on blessings like the reward for praying in the Jama'ah. Some people get mad at one person, 3 people in the community, they don't come and pray in Jama'ah no more. I ain't going there. I ain't going to pray in Jama'ah. You missed out on 25 to 27 blessings. You let Shaitan trick you like that. I don't like what the Imam said. I don't like what the administration is doing. You're holding a grudge. That grudge has caused you to lose your blessings. They say, well, I can go pray someplace else. But you always complain about when you pray someplace else, the people don't put their foot to foot. They're disobedient to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Kaaba bin Kaaba. They're not putting their ankles and their feet together, and you got an issue with that. You told us that's why you pray here. Because we try our level best to hold on tenaciously to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So now you're going to go and stand with the people who are disobedient and they stand 2 miles away from you in the salah. You happy with that? It has your man left. Go then in the care of Allah. They said that holding a grudge causes a person to lose out on the akhuwah. Now you're not here being involved in the brotherhood, eating, praying, talking with one another, in some cases traveling with one another because you got a grudge going on. So you miss out on the real akhuwah until it comes time for you to die, until it comes time for you when you're sick. You see, I've seen people leave here because of a grudge and then they die and the family called Masjid al-Sunnah. We need you to bury Fulan. So we ain't seen Fulan in 20 years because he had a grudge against the administration. Are we to hold a grudge? No, Allah Azza wa Jalla say, pardon them, forgive them. Because indeed Allah loves those who do right, who do good. We want Allah to love us. We ain't holding no grudges. Inshallah ta'ala. Mashayikh Ahl Sunnah, they say holding a grudge, it causes a person to miss out on building a house for themselves in paradise. You're trying to purchase a masjid. People are staying away because of whatever reason. Huh? You want to give them money? I ain't giving my money. What are they doing with it? Once you give it for the sake of Allah, it's out of your hand. Whatever they do with it is on them. Allah is going to hold them and me and everybody else responsible. If we're a bunch of crooks, then Allah is going to punish us. That's not your concern. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. When people come up with stuff, them and shaitan, for reasons for not coming and being and helping and aiding, because they got a grudge. Mashayikh Ahl Sunnah, they said because of this grudge, they miss out on attaining forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Because of the grudge, they miss out on attaining forgiveness from Allah Jalla Jalla. In a hadith collected by Imam Muslim, narrated by Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala. He said that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tuftahu abwab al-jannah yawm al-ithnain wa yawm al-khamis." ويغفر لكل عبد لا يشرك بالله شيئا إلا رجلا كانت بينه وبين أخيه شحناء. ويقال انظروا هذين حتى يسقى The Prophet ﷺ, he said, indeed the doors of paradise are open on Monday and Thursday. And so Allah forgives every servant that doesn't make shirk with him in anything, except for the man between him and his brother, there's a grudge. And the Prophet ﷺ said that Allah Azza wa Jalla says, delay these two
until they reconcile. We said it 3 times. Delay these 2 until they reconcile.
On Monday and Thursday, our sins are forgiven. If you don't make shirk with Allah, except for those men, those 2 men or women who they have a grudge against each other, Allah says, not for them, no forgiveness for them until they settle their differences. We didn't even know this, some of us. And if we knew, maybe, just maybe, if our desires didn't overtake us, and we didn't follow the command and the whisper of Shaitan, we would never be holding a grudge against one another. Or now that we found out, after this day, I'm going to go squash that grudge. I'm a person, and my sins as it relates to them being forgiven has been put on hold until I go take care of this? You mean the wife, that she got some grudge against her husband, she's not being forgiven? Or vice versa? The husband has a grudge against his wife, he's not being forgiven? You mean the family members? You know, brothers against sisters and brothers against brothers? I'm talking about blood relations. They're holding grudges and they're not being forgiven until they take care of that? Are we out of our mind? It's not worth it. Now that we know we have to fix it, and we see that not having knowledge causes major problems for us. Not having knowledge causes major problems for those of us who didn't know. As for those of us who knew, it's worse on you. If you sat here and you heard this hadith, say, oh yeah, I knew that hadith, I remember that hadith, and you have a situation going on, this means that you're heedless. You're disobedient. Holding grudges has a tremendous effect on individuals, communities, and families. And businesses. People doing business with each other. And the business gets thrown into the garbage because someone has a grudge against someone else. Now, sometimes Shaitan tricks everybody into wanting to be a chief. You can't have 100 chiefs. You can't have 10 people leading the salat at the same time. This religion doesn't call to chaos. It has order. Now, this is why we find people like the Shaykh al-Albani, rahimahullah ta'ala. He said that this religion was based upon equality. The son would not have to listen to his father. If they were equal. They're not equal. In business, there are not equals, not unless you both come to the table together. One has money, the other one has an idea. And you sit down, those 2 people, the Mashaykh said, they are equals. Because one has the money, but he doesn't have the idea. The other one has the idea, but he doesn't have money. They said, let's go into business together. They are equal partners. What if you walk into a business as an employee? You can't say to the one who owns the business, I see how much money you make every week. And you're only giving me this? You're making thousands and thousands of dollars. Are you crazy? And he's holding a grudge. So he doesn't put out work the way he should. He doesn't work the way Allah told him to. Inna Allah kataba insana ala kulli shay. That Allah has written upon everything excellence. Kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And now instead of being excellent, you halfway doing things. You are halfway dunking in things. Y'all know what that means. To halfway donkey a thing. No, it's not fair. But because you got a grudge, you think it's fair. Because you got a grudge, you think it's right. And the grudge gets you fired. Because you're going to find out that that person is really the owner and the boss. He said, look, your services are no longer needed here. We're going to go complain to you now. These grudges are causing us our sustenance, our livelihood. It's costing us our families, our communities, our relationships, because we got grudges. Then on top of that, because of that stupid grudge, you're not being forgiven for your sins. Indeed, not having knowledge of this is extremely dangerous. Now, as it pertains to blessing, we already looked at forgiveness. You already see that having a grudge is going to prevent me from gaining forgiveness from my Lord. What about doing actions and then to stop doing it because of a grudge? We're going deep. Brothers and sisters involved in the masjid, some grudge comes up, and every grudge to me is silly, stupid, ridiculous. Grudge comes up, they stop doing whatever their job is. And I'm just pulling something. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. So they just stop cleaning the masjid. They stop giving in the masjid. They give it all the time, always helping, always involved in. Then they get a grudge, they stop. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq وكان ينفق على مصباح لقرابته منه. Said that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he used to give a close relative of his thought, a seven, all the time. He used to give it to him all of the time, give him seven. Say it was a close relative of his, he used to give him seven to take care of it. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Then Miss Paul, he did something. He got involved in the slander of our mother Aisha, radiallahu ta'ala anha. So Abu Bakr said, Wallahi, that أنفق على مصباح أبدا بعد الذي قال لعائشة. He said, I swear by Allah, I'm not going to give him any more. Because of what he said about Aisha, I'm not giving him any more. That's it, I'm done. Khalas. Nothing for me. Talk about the mother of Islam like that. فأنزل الله, he said, then Allah revealed, ولا يأتم أولو الأفضل منكم وسعة أن تؤتوا أولي القربى as an ayat. Then he said, Allah Azza wa Jal revealed, let not those of you who Allah Azza wa Jal has favored with grace and money, the fadl from Allah Azza wa Jal. He said, Allah revealed this. When he said, I'm holding back from him, my cousin, I'm holding it back, ain't giving him nothing. Remember what he said about Aisha? I swear by Allah, I ain't giving him nothing. Allah revealed an ayat. So to know, ayat 22. He said, let not those from among you whom Allah Azza wa Jal has blessed with grace and wealth swear that he won't give to his kith and kin, that he won't give to his family. Allah Azza wa Jal heard Abu Bakr, heard what he said, and corrected him immediately. قال أبو بكر بلى والله إني أحب أن يغفر الله لي. Abu Bakr said, I swear by Allah. Look at the connection. He said, I swear by Allah, I love to be forgiven. Or rather, I love for Allah to forgive me. He connected what he was doing, that when he stopped, that Allah wouldn't love him. Because we already read the ayat, indeed Allah loves the good doers. So Abu Bakr, he said, He swore by Allah, I love that Allah will love me. And so later, it's a long hadith that said, Abu Bakr started giving back to his wife. A seven. SubhanAllah. This Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And this issue was horrible what they said about our mother. And he was giving sadaqah to a man who got involved in spreading the bad statement about our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. So he said, because of that, I'm holding back. And Allah told him, no. When you go to Sahih Bukhari, say, where's this hadith? It's in the chapter of oaths and vows. It's in the chapter of oaths and vows. Now, so you made an oath or a vow to continually do something, then something happens and you get a grudge and you hold it back? Sinful, man. Can't do that. And what in the community can be worse than the way they slandered Aisha? And who in the community is better than Abu Bakr as-Siddiq? Whom Allah revealed an ayat on him to make him to continue to give what he was to do what he was doing. Huh? And we have the nerve to get a grudge and we stop. Cut off your blessing. You just cut your blessings off. No, he's giving the sadaqah. He's obtaining ajr. In love. In love of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah loves him for doing what he was doing. Outside of the incident that took place, we ask that Allah Azza wa Jal soften our hearts and remove those grudges that are between us. The distance of 70 years. May Allah Azza wa Jal help us. Amen. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وبعد. We have a narration by Abdullah ibn Amr al-Aus. He said that we were with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to us, there's going to be a man that's going to come right now, who's from the people of paradise. And he said, the man walked in, this man walked in, and the Shaykh said that there isn't a clear proof on what his name was. Abdullah, he said, the next day, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, there's going to be a man who's going to come in right now, he's from the people of Jannah. He said, the same man walked in. He said, this happened 3 times. Abdullah, he said, we were all wondering, what is it? What was it? He said, so I went to him one day and I said, Akhi, indeed, me and my father, we had an argument, and I just need, if it's possible, for me to stay with you for about 3 days. He said, no problem. Abdullah said, so I stayed with him for 3 days. He said, this allowed me to see what it is that he was doing, that the Prophet ﷺ said, that he was from the people of Jannah. He said, so we went and I seen him during the day making the 5 prayers. He said, so he must be praying at night. And he said, he didn't pray at night the first night. He said, he must be fasting during the day. He said, then during the day he wasn't fasting. He said, the second day, he said, I'm watching him. He made the 5 salawat. He said, he must be going to stand up tonight. Make me stand with him. He probably stands long until Fajr. He said, so I stood up, waiting for him, and he remained asleep. He woke up, we went to fast. I said, oh, he's going to fast. Then fast again. He said, the following day, he did the same exact thing. He wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary that we ourselves were doing. He said, so I had to sit down with him.
And I said, yeah, Pete, I'm going to come clean. He said, indeed, I said what I said to you about me and my father. It wasn't true. Allah forgive me. He said, I wanted to see what it is that you were doing that caused the Prophet ﷺ to say that you're one of the people of paradise. He said, I don't know. He said, I'm with you. You're not fasting during the day. You're not standing up at night. I see you doing 5 cents a while. You're not giving any extra sadaqah. And see, he said, I don't know. I'll go with you. So I go on, he said, okay, come on. He said, I'm leaving. Assalamu alaikum. He said, when I started to walk away, he said, the man called me back. He said, oh, come here. He said, I thought about something. He said, what it could be is that at night before I go to bed, I make sure I don't have any grudges in my heart or any jealousy in my heart for the Muslims. Every night before I go to bed, every night before I go to bed, I make sure I'm not holding a grudge against my wife, or the wife against the husband, or the children against one another, or the children against the parents, among the Muslims. Do you hear what he said? Every night, before he goes to sleep, he makes sure that he's not holding any grudge against any Muslim. He said, then I go to sleep. Abdullah, he said to him, indeed, this is what it is. That's it. And he said, most of us can't do it. We have to try. We have to fight this thing, man. Because it's a matter of not being forgiven and losing your blessings. Not removing from yourself the love of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Sometimes we're wondering what's going on in our life. How come it just seems like I get real close to what I'm trying to do in my day-to-day living and then something happens? Because you're harboring something in your heart. You got to let it go. You have to let that thing go so that Allah can bless you, so that Allah can bless us. The husband and wife can't resolve their issues because even when they come and sit and talk to the imam and he gives those ayat and the hadith and he gives good advice and everybody leaves after he makes dua, everybody leaves as if they're okay, but you walk out of the office holding a grudge. And it comes to get you later because you find yourself back sitting with the imam again. Or you find yourself in the position of talaq or khullah. Why? Because you can't let it go. These grudges are destroying us, slowly eating away at the fiber of the community and relationships. Now, without any help from Allah Azza wa Jalla, no forgiveness, no mercy, no nothing. How can we be like this? No, we have to reevaluate ourselves, man, and seek forgiveness from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Now, and you go and sit with your wife, and the wife sit with the husband who's ever holding a grudge, say, Wallahi, I'm sorry. And remove that thing, man. And fill it with the love of Allah, the obedience of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Huh? If Abu Bakr as-Siddiq didn't obey Allah Azza wa Jalla, we can't even imagine this. He would have lost the blessing of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and because he was commanded, he would have been from among the heedless. Ya'udhu billah. That's what's wrong with us. We're in a state of heedlessness because of grudges. Allah, fight that. Before we leave, we'll tell the story. Removing a grudge saved a brother's life when he was on Washington Street. One day after the Jummah khutbah, a brother came to me and he said, Imam, I got a serious issue. I said, what is it? He said, I had a hit on that brother to seek advice. What should I do? I said, that's your Muslim brother. You can't kill him. You can't continue to have a grudge against him. You got to take it off.
the masjid. He took the heel off. Imagine if he had held a grudge. He would have been held accountable for killing another Muslim. That's the hellfire. Was he holding a grudge? No. It's a new life, a new time, a new day. Knowledge has come. Guidance has come. And when guidance comes, we change. That brother was no longer the person he was when he went to prison. He came out a servant of Allah Azza wa Jal. He went in a servant of Shaitan. Both of them come out of prison, one just before the other. They came out servants of Allah. You know, Sheikh Albani said when the name changes on something, the ruling changes. Love. There's something to think about. That's the benefit of the movement. May Allah aid us in loving one another, and helping one another, and protecting one another, and aiding one another, and making dua for one another in our presence and in our absence. May Allah aid us and strengthen us, and bring our hearts together like the bricks in the wall. And that we love each other the way the Sahaba love each other and the Sahabiyat. Oh Allah aid us and forgive us and strengthen us and remove this rancor and this hatred that may exist in us on a very small level that's destroying us. Oh Allah, pure our hearts and fill it with Iman, Taqwa, and subhanallah wa bihamdihi. أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.